Hello, good morning everyone. Today I will introduce you guys to development of the pharmaceutical industry in China. Who made this PowerPoint? My name is Putri Shakira Nur Sabrina with name 23501911125 from class D. Let's start the PowerPoint. Firstly, the pharmaceutical industry. Currently, China is very developed in the pharmaceutical industry. There is so many countries or depend on China. European countries admit that they currently still depend on China for several types of medicine and active substance for medicine. Pharmacists in Europe say that it's very likely that in the future we will continue to depend on drug supply from China, and there is a possibility that drug export could be politicized by the Chinese state. Industry in China has a motto that is always cheap. One of the reasons why China can develop rapidly in the pharmaceutical industry because European countries have a big role behind it all. As Ulrich Hausgrave say, the reason is that we don't want to spend a lot of money on the drugs, even though they are the cheapest form of therapy. Therefore, product costs must be reduced, and the easiest way to do is to cooperate with countries that have low labor costs, less stringent environmental regulation, and lower costs for energy. Experts say currently China produces 40% of all active drugs ingredient in the world, namely the part of the drug that have therapeutic effect. One example is, we all know this drug. It is ibuprofen, which during the pandemic had limited supply. This drug is also produced by India, but the variation in production location is not significant because Indonesia imports almost all the active ingredient needed from China to India. China medicine. Currently, in China, producing medical raw material are very cheaply due to economic of scale. Thanks to cheap production costs, China is able to surpass foreign competitors, as in the case of cephalosporin antibiotic drugs. Even German manufacturers with advanced production technology have no chance competing with China. This is the example of cephalosporin antibiotic drugs that was sold in Indonesia. We can know them by cefotaxime 1 gram. What are the use of cephalosporin antibiotic? Cephalosporin are a group of antibiotics to treat disease caused by bacterial infection ranging from strep throat, pneumonia to bone infection. Cephalosporin are available in various dosage forms, including tablets, capsule, dry syrup, and injection. Another example of drug that was made in China was coronavirus vaccine, which was first discovered in China. The new type of coronavirus called SARS-CoV-2 was first discovered in Wuhan, China at the end of December 2019. The disease caused by this virus is called coronavirus disease 2019, or we all probably know this as COVID-19. Few examples of China vaccine for COVID-19. 1. Sinovac. This vaccine was developed by Sinovac Biotech Ltd and used the coronavirus inactivation method. This vaccine has gone through phase 3 clinical trials in several countries, including Indonesia. and is produced by Biopharma. The second one is Sinopharm. This vaccine was developed by China National Pharmaceutical Group Sinopharm and also used the coronavirus inactivation method. This vaccine has gone through phase 3 clinical trials in several countries, including the United Arab Emirates, Peru, Morocco, and Argentina. The third one is CanSino. The vaccine was developed by CanSino Biologics Inc. and used the adenovirus vector method. This vaccine has gone through phase 3 clinical trial in several countries, including Saudi Arabia, and is produced by CanSino Biologics Inc. Ulrich Hausgrove also said, the great thing is, until a few years ago, we produced cephalosporins at the host company. However, that is no longer the case because Chinese people are very smart. They always sold cheaper than the host price until the owner host company, which at that time was a private company, finally said, this is no longer worth it. We will stop the production. Ulrich Hosgrave also said, if you look at cephalosporin more closely, there is a main ingredient, namely aminocephalic furanic acid, which is produced exclusively in China. So if China decides that they no longer want to supply to Europe, for example, if we side with Taiwan in the event of a war, then we will run out of cephalosporin stocks. Antibiotics are life-saving drugs. Breakthrough in medicine. China has high ambition. China wants to be at the forefront of the pharmaceutical industry, especially in the new medicine industry. Experts say that 1 in 10 drugs in the world currently under development and in research in China. European wants to review pharmaceutical production. For example, in France, a painkiller or paracetamol factory will be built to meet a third of European demand, but this can only be done thanks to large subsidized profit. Andreas Masser said, I think they are much more friendly toward innovation, and I think in the end this makes it easier. The bureaucratic process much faster than the German bureaucratic process. On the other hand, money, support, and funding lost to what is called industry core. Andreas Masser also said, I think first of all we have to agree about which active ingredient we consider important. There are many lists of variation of active ingredients circulating. I think we also have to be honest and admit that they will be more expensive, and we have to agree to buy more expensive one than the cheapest one. One medical pill made in China costs 6 cents in Germany, the equivalent of 1,000 rupiah. That is cost, if we go to Germany, it is cost one piece of chewing gum. One medicine pill in Germany will probably 1,000 to 3,000 rupiah more expensive if it were produced in European, not in China. So, seeing the difference in the two prices that occur, of course some countries still choose China as their main drug producer because they are cheap than the European one. But it is also possible that the selling price of drug produced in Europe could be cheaper in the future. The few reasons why China drug was more cheap because China has sophisticated technology, looser regulatory policies, and economic influence. For this reason, China can clearly develop more rapidly than other countries. The Chinese government also still has ambition to develop pharmaceutical industry in their country. The current medicine development in China. China's State Council discussed and adopted a work plan to promote the development of high-quality pharmaceutical and medical equipment industry in the 2023 to 2025 period. According to an executive meeting of China's State Council chaired by Chinese Premier Li Qiang on Friday, 25 August, efforts should be made to increase the supply capacity of more advanced and high-quality medicine, key technology and pharmaceutical material, as well as accelerate support measures for weak links in China's advanced medical equipment industry, as the meeting said. Looking at the discussion, the meeting we can Looking looking at the discussion from the meeting, we can understand that China is still developing so that it has a high quality pharmaceutical industry. Chinese pharmaceutical companies posted a combined annual increase in business revenue of 18.7% in 2021, the highest growth rate in 5 years. Companies in sector earn 3.37 trillion yuan. One yuan equal 2,145 rupiah in revenue last year, said Zhou Jian, an official at Ministry of Industry and Information Technology. At a press conference, their total profit reaches 708.75 billion yuan in 2021, up 67.3% from last year. Zhou said industrial value-added output rose to 23.1%, 13.5 percentage point higher than the overall growth rate, reaching 4.1% of China's total industrial output. We have the conclusion now. The pharmaceutical industry, the conclusion, the pharmaceutical industry in China is still developing to become a better quality. Many countries in the world still need China to buy their medicine. Second, China continues to create new medicine that can be used by humans. There are even some chemical compounds that can only be created by China, and this can benefit China. Three, Chinese made medicine are cheaper than European made medicine. So there is many countries still buy medicine and active substance in China. 4. The reason why the pharmaceutical industry in China can develop rapidly is because of advanced technology, looser regulatory policy, and economic influence. Thank you for your attention. Sorry for my bad pronunciation, and I hope you guys love to see this video. This is some of the reference that I did to make this PowerPoint.